Hello and welcome to Mina's bookshelf for another deck review. Today I'm taking a look at the Land of Giants Oracle deck by Stephen Hutton, recently published by US Games. The publisher was kind enough to send me a review copy in exchange for an unbiased opinion. Thank you so much, US Games. This deck is really charming, it's really adorable, and will certainly appeal to those collectors and readers who love a fantasy world. Stephen Hutton is, in fact, the creator, the illustrator of several children's books, and also the author of a series of fantasy novels. If you are familiar with this name, it's because probably you have at some point seen his other Oracle deck, Raven's Wand Oracle, which was based and inspired on a series of fantasy novels. I don't think this one is actually based on a book, but because of the way it's structured, it represents a story, a fantastical fantasy world of his own with his own characters. Let's find out why. From the back of the box, really beautiful UV spotting here for the preview of the cards. Abandoned long ago by its human residents, Whitworth Hall in northern England is now inhabited by the small folk who took over the estate and renamed it Lockhart. The rooms and relics left behind in decaying splendor tell the stories of the land of giants. The tiny fairies and mystical creatures share their adventures in this 42-card oracle through powerful images, messages, and lessons. The 56-page illustrated guidebook also includes 3 custom cards spread. As I said, there's UV spotting all over the box. And if there's a season that comes up to mind when you look at this deck, at the artwork, at the color palette that the creator chose, it's certainly the beginning of fall with these glorious colors and lights. This is a very nice hard shell box with the magnet along the opening. It's beautiful details all over. This cute little fantastical creature that looks like a snail here. The actual colors of the deck are a little bit more muted than what they appear on camera. So what appear on my camera is a purple, a lavender. It's actually more muted if once you look at the actual deck. There's like a filter on the images that gives this mute tone. This is the guidebook. It's a beautiful black and white artwork all over. Looks like one of those children's illustrated books. I love this. So we have a background story. Abandoned in the 1950s, Whitworth Hall in northern England remains uninhabited to this day, by people that is. With the humans gone, the small folk emerged and took the hall as their own. Mystified by the decorative door handles throughout, they named the hall Lockhart. For Lockhart's otherworldly residents, the corridors, chambers, furniture, and relics left behind in decaying splendor truly represent the land of giants. I think we go straight into the cards meanings. They're right up for the upright and reversed, which is always nice when they offer you the option of the reverse meaning for the oracle card. So we have a main keyword which will appear also on the card, and 3 or 4 keywords. And then we have, I think, the spreads. There are quite a few spreads for such a small guidebook. Really interesting. We have a top to bottom Trinity of Days, this beautiful one, master plan, which we'll try one of these at the end if there's time, and then some information about the creator. Born in Yorkshire, northern England in 1970, Steve Hutton grew up immersed in fantastical TV stories such as Doctor Who and films like Star Wars. We are the same generation, Stephen. I totally understand the love for this, for books and movies from that era. His favorite school lesson was art, where his natural flair for drawing found fertile ground. He eventually went on and he got his Bachelor of Arts and Masters of Arts in Graphics and Illustrations. He illustrated several children's books for Oxford University Press. He became also a classroom practitioner, and his love of art and writing combined to create Ravenswood Oracle for US Game System, based upon his series of fantasy novels, and later landed Giant Oracle for the same publisher. He's currently working on a tarot project called the Tarot of Bob, which will come up at some point. Here we have the deck. Oh, this is another beautiful detail from the inside of the box. Oh, my cat is complaining because he wants to get in and have fun. Okay, so this is a this is the deck. Large cards covered my entire hand. They are printed on that beautiful, flexible matte cardstock with a little bit of sheen that is typical of the Oracle decks by US Games. I particularly like that that cardstock is very nice for shuffling. The cards are not in order anymore, forgive me. I've been using them, I've done a few readings. I really was eager to see how this deck could be used in my general check-in and in my personal readings. So they're in order on the guidebook, so it will always be very easy to find them listed in the book when you go and look for the meanings. So I'm going to do it this way because I realized that because of that coating on the card, they're not glossy, but there's a little bit of a sheen, and I have windows right here, so there's a reflection of the light here. So I'm going to keep them like this. This card has been popping out in all my readings. This is Independence. So many little details, creatures, objects that you might use to inspire you when you do your reading. So this was my experience with the deck. In some cases, the keyword was really telling for me, was my guiding light in the interpretation of the card. Sometimes it was something in the artwork that really sparked my intuition. Some other times the meanings, the write-ups in the cards were really speaking to my soul. So it's definitely a deck that you can use in an intuitive manner. And this card has been popping up for me so many times, and I wonder why. Then we have Made Anew. So you can see the colors are really muted. It's a palette of colors with a lot of beige and natural colors and purples. It looks like antique. So there's a Scorpio here, butterflies, horses, unicorns, rabbits. So each of these animals in and of itself and in and of themselves could represent jumping points for your interpretation. A skull, dates here on these in these books. So there's a lot that you can get out of this deck. Cooperation. This one looks like one of the main characters in this made-up world. We will see this character again in the cards. She's a little fairy with moth wings and a cat and flowers. Cooperation. And a little snail. Climbing the scales of a piano. With another little fairy here and this lion, or something that looks like a lion. From the North. I really like the keywords. They're not the usual keywords for the most part, but they're very usable. So there's the Grim Reaper here. There's somebody that looks a fairy that looks like almost like a warrior. There's a reference to the mutability of a situation because there's the changing winds. Hail, palmistry, so it's a decaying mansion in which these tiny little creatures are having a lot of fun. Unknowable. This is a beautiful card. Look at this poor little horse stabbed with all those nails. And this little girl. So even just looking at the expression, facial expressions of the characters, you can get your own story out of each of these cards and find correlations with the question you're inquiring about. Nightshade. See, there's the word love or loving. It might be in loving memory. So this is like the gravestone. So we are in the themes of endings, of memories. Then we have back off. Very good card to give you advice in a situation where you're probably better off not to proceed, not to go on. Nurturing. You see these tiny little creatures. Animate, one of my favorite cards. Animal life. Nightmare. Two Worlds. I love this card. Somebody working on a dress with the tailor's tools, sewing machine. Lots of animals. So if you work with animal totems, this could be a great deck for you. This is probably my favorite card. It's also the card that has the brightest colors. This is Element with the koi fish and this winged creature here and the lily pads. Beautiful. I think it's my favorite card in the deck. Then we have Territory with the gargoyle, protecting his own territory. Dawn. With this dragon and shoes here. Yourself. I love the color, this plum, very muted kind of plum color here that has been chosen also for the back of the deck. I don't know if we have taken a very good look at the back of the deck. Also the other Oracle deck, the Ravens one, has a beautiful back. I love it. I really like it. Halls of the Dead. Things that belong in the past. Things that are no more. Opportunity. With all these thread spools. And yarn. Very creative card. Self-awareness. This is also one of my favorite. I really like this fox looking creature. And the glove, the mitten with a little fox face on it. Self-awareness. Yearning. So, for example, in this card, if the keyword doesn't really resonate with you, maybe the jumping point is the animal spirit here. Is the creature, is the fox. So it's about opportunities. It's about thinking on your feet. It's about being astute. It's about grabbing, pouncing on opportunity in a timely manner. Yearning. That's all. With little swamp creatures in a kitchen sink. Dream tree. Barriers. Old master. It's another fox. Paintbrushes. Very interesting. Completeness. Laying the last piece of a puzzle down. Completing a work. So it's a card of completion. Successful completion. Tiger moth. This is the head of a teddy bear. And all the fluff is out. Guardian with a porcupine. This is the third card that talks about putting down healthy barriers, protection, guarding yourself, protecting yourself and your assets with the porcupine. So I found the animals very interesting and very helpful in guiding me when the card in or the keyword was not really telling me much. I could find a way in my in the reading using the animals as guides, as entry points. So near yet so far. The Green Forge. These cards would be great for a one card pool. Rough and Ready, because there's so much going on in each of the cards, and you can actually find in so many little things, ideas, inspiration for your reading, for your meditations as well. Rough and Ready. Using the dandelion as a bait to get this very ancient turtle to move a little faster. Interesting. Misadventure. Trapped in a bottle. Forget Me Not. Another great card. Revival. I think we are on a Christmas tree. Decorations on a Christmas tree. Promises. Bride and groom. Letters, love letters, the heart. Lady Silk. Honor. Very nice cards. Yellow Dragon. Interesting sign. Sold. Blockage. New Look. I love this card too. Risk and Rewards. And last card, Temptation. Very cute. All right, let's give it a shuffle. And let's see how it reads from the guidebook. My hands are on the smaller side, but I can still grasp the deck, the cards lengthwise, and shuffle them in that way. Let's read a card. Let's see what we pulled. Climbing the scale. The scales of a piano. There's a little mouse there hiding underneath the keys. There's this creature that looks like a lion and a little fairy on horseback on the back of that lion. So, climbing, we're in alphabetical order. Let's see, what's the meaning of this card? Three keywords are coincidence, misunderstanding, dual meanings. Very good keywords. As you see, climbing the scale is not really helpful in, at least for me, in understanding what this card is talking about, but the keywords are very helpful. As Magicat climbs the scale, memory moths emerge to sing, and this record piano makes music again. This card is about getting what you want, but not by the means you had imagined. It might seem that plans constantly fail to yield results, yet success will be achieved through an unforeseen and seemingly unconnected route. Contradictory though it sounds, if serendipity is going to show its hand, it also remains vital to continue approaching matters in a logical sequence like the notes of a scale. Very good for predictive readings, I have to say, because of the way the write-ups have been thought out. Reverse. Be very specific what you ask of life. For instance, desiring time off work could be interpreted as either vacation or illness, the same in theory but not in practice. Dual meanings is a theme here also, implying something gravely misunderstood, all due to a single word that carries multiple meanings. All right, let's try one of the spreads. Let's see, which one should we do? Let me know in the comments section what your thoughts about these decks are. Do you like the artwork? Do you see it as a deck you could work with? What kind of readings would you do with it? Okay, let's see. Top to bottom, a house makes a good metaphor for our lives. In this simple three-card spread, the attic holds our hopes and ambition, as seen in the boxes waiting to be unpacked. The lounge, on the main level, is the home's heart, where all the practicalities are met. The cellar is the place of the subconscious, for insight into these three arenas of life, draw a card for each level. Now, because of the frame of my camera here, I'm not going to be able to put them in vertical, so I'm going to go in horizontal. So the first card I'm going to draw, and I already let's cut the deck again. Let's see, a message for whomever needs to receive one. So think about your life, think about your circumstances. Card number 1, we have the addicts. This is hopes and ambitions. And we have the guardian. This is a protection card for me with a porcupine. So I see somebody being very protective, kind of closed off to external interferences. We'll read from the guidebook. Then for the main level, the lounge, we have the home's heart with all the practicalities of life, animate. And for the subconscious, we have yellow dragon, sold. Okay, let's see how the write-up in the guidebook makes sense. So we are in hopes and ambitions, the guardian card. Protection, speaking out, championing, and altruism. Done with adventure, Fire Imp Cadmian tries to better understand Hall's legacy. Grasping that the box of blue granules is hazardous, he deters the unwary. At this time, you're called to set aside your own personal desires in favor of others' needs. So, not personal ambitions, but ambitions that might result into, let's say, other people's benefit. At this time, you're called to set aside your own personal desires in favor of others' needs. Championing a cause seems a strong likelihood, the scale of which might be global or very local. Either way, its significance is very personal and it fuels the desire to make a difference. If such a vocation already occupies your life, it could be that fatigue has set in and a short break is needed. So, in your goals and ambitions and hopes, there is working on a cause that might benefit the general well being. In its reverse meaning, stored items may not be as secure as imagined. Images, data, mementos, documents, old diaries, secrets. Commit the most precious of these to the best and strongest safekeeping you can devise and do so as soon as possible. Okay, there's a message out there for somebody. Protect your identity, protect your personal information, protect your old photos, messages. Very interesting. Now, on the main level, we have the practicalities of life with Animate. You can use this deck as a standalone, and I would use it as a standalone. I really feel like it's complete and it has a strength of its own. But you can also combine it with some fairy tale themed deck as well. Keywords for Animate are trust, impartiality, openness, and faith. As copy fungi digest the smoldering book, they grow to mirror the animals described in its crumbling pages. The copy fungi, or fungi, however you want to say it, doesn't judge or assume, it merely animates what is absorbed. This card is an invitation to step back from judgment and let things find their own form, at least on this one occasion. Trust is needed here, trust that a natural balance will be reached without intervention or interferences. Relinquish power, be prepared for surprising results, and embrace the unexpected. So, in your everyday life, in your practical matters, expect some situations that might be a little controversial to find a natural resolution, sometimes in unexpected, surprising ways. In the reverse, information on paper is far more user sensitive than its screen counterpart. Researching via books rather than a keyboard encourages serendipity, where the seeker's energy and the written words call to one another. The next time the need arises, try seeking answers through the slow paper route rather than opting for the simple click of a mouse. Very interesting because this card was talking about keeping all your private informations as safe as possible. And here, there's a need for you to make researches using hard copies of magazines, journals, newspapers, books. Do your researches in more traditional ways. And then we have the subconscious, and I'm putting this card in the middle away from the candle. Okay, so what's going on in your subconscious? Yellow dragon. Things about ourselves we're not immediately aware of. Keywords are final judgment, fear, doom, imagination turned against itself. So, fear. Fear of endings, maybe? All Lockharters fear the yellow dragon will one day come from the north to destroy their home. Although the card's imagery is dramatic and frightening, it remains only a possibility, not a fact. Yellow Dragon is cautioning you about the danger of overreacting to something that isn't real. Although the event might indeed happen one day, it remains only a potential at present, but it's being lived out on a daily basis throughout this sphere. So there is on your subconscious level, a fear of losing something. I It's interesting. The cards seem to be connected because I see here protection, guarding your own things. And the message was talking about private and personal information, emails, messages, letters, pictures. Here, there's a need to do some researches using books. And here we have fear of losing something, fear of destruction. In the reverse, change is an inevitable part of life, but hopefully change is for the better and happens when we want it to. This card, drawn reversed, indicates a period of stagnation with little or no beneficial change. At such times, impatience can cause us to take rash actions that we later regret. Let me know if this message resonated with your personal circumstances. I'm very curious when I do these bonus readings at the end of flip throughs and reviews and see if they actually spoke to somebody. Okay, so this was my walkthrough and review of The Land of Giants by Stephen Hutton, recently published by US Games. Beautiful, charming artwork, beautiful concept. I like the idea of it, and I think it can be used as a word deck. Definitely, there's substance in it. So let me know if you would like to give it a try. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me have your constructive feedback in the comments below, and reach out to my email address that you will find in the description of this video if you would like to submit requests of review of books and decks, or if you would like to book a personal reading with me. Thank you so much for watching, and until I see you next time, many blessings.